Good morning to one and all. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Chevrolet Engineering College. Today, in this class, I am going to explain about the functions of a matrix and properties of a desired matrix and comparisons of various polymers using bars and charts. So in the earlier classes we have studied about the thermoplastics and thermosetting polymers, and this is my 17th class in the advanced materials subject. So first of all we are going to compare the thermoplastic versus thermosetting polymers. So these thermoplastics have little cross-linking structure compared to the thermosetting polymers, but it is ductile in nature and it gets softened when heating. So the thermoplastics are melted when heating, and the best examples for the thermoplastics are polyethylene, polypropylene, polycarbonate and polystyrene. So these are the different examples of these thermoplastics. And coming to the thermosets, these thermosetting polymers have very large cross-linking structure. So that is, there are several cross-links in its crust structure, and 10 to 50% of the polymers have very large cross-linking structures. Generally, these thermosetting polymers have cross-linking structure in its shape and crystallization, but 10 to 50% of the polymers have very large cross-linking structure. Next, the property is hard and brittle. So these thermosetting polymers are hard and brittle in nature, and they do not soften on heating. So while heating, they do not melt or they do not soften because of its cross-linked structure. The best examples for the thermosetting polymers are vulcanized rubber, epoxies, polyester resins, and phenolic resins. So these are the different types of examples which we can see in the thermosetting polymers, that is vulcanized rubber, epoxies, polyester resin and phenolic resin. So these are the different types of examples for thermosets. So in the picture we can see the graph of comparing these thermoplastics versus thermosetting resins. So we have two different types of temperatures here. First one is the glass transition temperature, second one is the melting temperature. So Tg is indicated as glass transition temperature, Tm is the melting temperature. So we have two curves here. So the transition between these two curves is known as tough plastics, that is known as fiber plastic also. And above the tough plastics there are three phases. First one is the mobile liquid, and second one is the viscous liquid, and last one is the rubber. And coming to the below the glass transition temperature, we have two phases. First one is the crystalline solid, and second one is the partially crystalline solid. So these two conditions are same, but coming to the three phases of above the melting temperature curve, there is the mobile liquid, that is which is going to form as a solid. Next one is the viscous liquid, there is somewhat liquidous in these types of liquid. And last one is the rubber. So in the rubber you can see the elasticity and plasticity. So elastic nature is high in the rubber. Next, in between the rubber and partially crystalline solid, there is the tough plastic, so which is very hard plastic known as the fibers also. So in this tough plastic, the elasticity content is higher than the normal plastic materials. So that is why we are taking the single phase there, only the tough plastic. But when coming to the partially crystalline solid, it has semi-liquid in nature and semi-solid in nature. There is not at all full solid or full liquid, but when it comes to the ratio, it is somewhat crystalline solid, that is partially crystalline solid. And second one is the crystalline solid. It is the solid where the crystals of the molecules are fully crystallized in its structure, so fully completed solid it is. So that is the basic difference between these phases. So that curve is about the molecular weight and temperature of the thermoplastics and thermosettings. Next you can see the functions of a matrix. So first one is it can hold the fiber together. So the basic function of a matrix is to hold the fiber together. So wherever the fibers are representing in the matrix, it used to holds the fiber together. Next, it also protects the fibers from environment also. So the topmost part of the fibers are being produced by the matrix only, the cover is by the matrix only, so it is used to protect the fiber from environment. Next, distributes the loads evenly between fibers so that all fibers are subjected to the same amount of strain. So it also distributes the loads evenly between the fibers, so there is no compulsion of having a single load on the single point of the fiber, but it distributes the loads even, and that all fibers are subjected to the same amount of strain also. Next one, it enhances transverse properties of a laminate, so it also enhances the transverse properties of a laminate also. Next, it improves impact and fracture resistance of a component. So the impact resistance and fracture resistance of a component has also been increased by this matrix also. That is also an important function regarding to the matrix. Next one is it helps to avoid propagation of crack growth through the fibers. So we have seen it in the first unit that when there is a crack obtaining in the matrix, it evolves into the matrix. But when a fiber is reinforced into the matrix, the crack gets deviated from the matrix fiber and it gets to the depth into the matrix. So that is the alternate failure path of the crack. So it helps to propagate the crack growth along the interface between the fibers and matrix. So that is the main function. Last one is the carry interlaminar shear. It also carries the interlaminar shear also. So that are the main functions of a matrix. Next one is the desired properties of a matrix. So the desired properties, first one is it reduces the moisture absorption. So by reducing these moisture absorption, we have to find the desired property of a matrix. Second one is the low shrinkage. So by adding these fibers as the reinforcement, the matrix has very low shrinkage. Due to the multiple components in the section, that is in the matrix section. Next one, low coefficient of thermal expansion. So it has a very low coefficient of the thermal expansion also. So it gets very low coefficient of thermal expansion. Next, it must be elastic to transfer loads to fibers. So it also gets very good elastic in nature to transfer the loads to the fibers also. And fourth one, good flow characteristics so that it penetrates the fiber bundles completely. So these flow characteristics have been penetrated by the fiber bundles completely, which eliminates the voids to create in the matrix. So when we are adding the reinforcement as fibers, it has the remaining space to be absorbed from the matrix, but there is no um, no situation of forming the voids in the matrix. So it eliminates the voids during the compacting or curing process. So curing means, ఇప్పుడు దీనికి ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తానమ్మా నేను. సో మనం ఇంటి దగ్గర ఇవి మైదా పిండితో చేసుకుంటుంటాం కదా, ఉప్మా లాంటివి చేసుకుంటుంటాం మనం. సో బొంబాయి రవ్వతో చేసుకుంటుంటాం కదా, రవ్వతో ఉప్మా చేసుకుంటుంటాం. సో ఉప్మాని మనం హీట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం అనమాట. హీట్ చేసినప్పుడు దాంట్లో ఉన్న మాలిక్యూల్స్ ఏమవుతాయమ్మా, డెవలప్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి మనకి. సో పెరుగుతూ ఉంటాయి, కొంచెం ఉబ్బుతుంది కదా మనకి వాటర్ పోయంగానే. సో ఎప్పుడైతే మనకి వాటర్ పోయి కొంచెం ఉబ్బుతుందో దాంట్లో మనం ఈ గంట పెట్టి తిప్పుతా ఉంటాం. సో స్టిర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం అనమాట. దాంట్లో స్టిర్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు మనకేం పెద్ద ఈ చిన్న చిన్న వాయిడ్స్ అనేవి క్రియేట్ కావు, కానీ ఎప్పుడైతే స్టిర్ చేయటం ఆపేస్తామో, సో వెన్ వి గెట్స్ స్టాప్ ఇట్స్ స్టిరింగ్ ఇన్ ది సాలిడ్ లిక్విడ్, దెన్ ఇట్ గెట్స్ టు ఫార్మ్ ఏ వాయిడ్స్ ఇన్ ఇట్స్ స్ట్రక్చర్. చిన్న చిన్న గడ్డల్లాగా ఏర్పడుతుంటాయి మనకు చూస్తే మీరు ఈ ఉప్మాలో కానీ లేకపోతే ఇంకేదన్నా దాంట్లో చిన్న చిన్న గడ్డలాగా ఏర్పడుతుంది. సో ఆ గడ్డలనే మనం వాయిడ్స్ అంటున్నాం అన్నమాట. సో లోపల ఏముండదు మనకి, సో ఎంటీగానే ఉంటది, కానీ పైన మాత్రం కొంచెం సాలిడ్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. సో ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ ఇంపాక్ట్ లోడ్స్ కానీ సడన్ లోడ్స్ కానీ దాని మీద పడతాయో, బ్రేక్ అవడానికి ఈజీగా ఛాన్సెస్ అనేవి ఎక్కువగా ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. సో బ్రేక్ అయినప్పుడు ఏమైపోద్ది అంటే మెటీరియల్ అనేది ఫెయిల్యూర్ అవడానికి ఛాన్సెస్ ఎక్కువగా ఉంటాయి. సో ఈ వాయిడ్స్ అనేవి ఎక్కడా కూడా మనకి స్ట్రక్చర్లు ఏర్పడకుండా, మెటీరియల్ ఏర్పడకుండా చూస్తుంటాం. సో ఇఫ్ we are not eliminating the voids, it leads to the failure of the material. So that these fibers had eliminates the voids during the compact or curing processes. So these are the desired properties of a good matrix. Next one, it has reasonable strength, modulus and elongation. So elongation means when we are using these fibers, it gets good stability and elastic property in its structure. So it has a good reasonable strength and modulus and elongation in its structure. Next, strength at elevated temperatures. So elevated temperatures, that will depend upon the application. That depends on the application of the application of the temperature. So it has excellent chemical resistance. So it also get good excellent chemical resistance property depending on the application also. So this also depends upon the application and should be easily processable into the final composite shape. These are easily processable into the final composite shape. So this should be easy processable. And last one, it has good dimensional stability. So it also gets good dimensional stability comparing to the its shape. So it can maintain its shape. So that is the different types of desired properties of a matrix. Next, effect of this temperature on the thermoplastics. So we have already studied that we get two types of temperatures, that is first one degradation temperature and second one is the glass temperature. So you can see it in the picture. So this effect of temperature on plastics has covered the temperature above which a polymer burns, scatters or decomposes is known as the degradation temperature. That is, the material or the structure in the temperature of a material has been degraded or decomposed by its temperature nature. Next one is the glass temperature. The temperature range below which the amorphous polymers assumes a rigid glassy structure is known as the glass temperature. So it depends upon the glassy nature and which is the temperature below the amorphous polymer. So these are the two types of temperatures that can be affected on the temperature of thermoplastics. So you can see it in the picture also. So two types of temperatures have been used. Tg is the glass temperature and Tm is the degradation temperature. So the above the degraded temperature you can see the rigidness of the material, leathery property, rubbery property and viscous property of a material. Next, when coming to the below the amorphous polymer, it gets the glass temperature, that is glass transition temperature, in which there desires a equilibrium state of the material. So it gets the equilibrium state in its property. So these are the different types of effects which affects the temperature on thermoplastics. Next one is the strain behavior of different polymer matrices. So the basic comparison between the two polymers only, that is thermoplastic polymer and thermosetting polymer. So there you have taken the two stress strain graphs behavior. So first one we are taking the thermoplastic polymers. In the thermoplastic polymers we have taken three examples. First one is the polysulfone, second one is the polyamides and third one is the polyethylene. And in the thermosetting polymers we have taken the phenolics, polyester and epoxy group as the examples. So you can see it in the graph. So if you see at the thermoplastic polymers, the stress percentage of the polysulfone is very high compared to the strain percentage. So the polysulfone has very high stress percentage, that is 70 megapascals, compared to the strain. It has a strain of 100% only. It has a strain of 100% only. So you can see it in the picture. So this is the graph of polysulfone. Next, coming to the polyamides, it has a stress of 35 megapascals and strain of 300%. So it is equally balanced in nature, that it in the stress strain graph. So the polyamides has a balanced structure compared to the stress and strain. Last one, it is polyethylene. So the polyethylene has somewhat 35 to 38 megapascals of stress and 400% strain. So it is higher in the strain content than the stress concentration. So this is the three types of graphs, three types of examples we have seen it in the graphs. Coming to the thermosetting polymers, the phenolics have 50 megapascals of stress and 100% up to 150% of strain percentage. That is 150% of strain percentage is here. And when coming into the polyesters, it has a stress factor of 60 megapascals, stress factor of 60 megapascals, and strain factor of up to 200%. So 200% of strain composition. So these are the two factors. And last one is the epoxy group. It has been a balanced structure in the thermosetting polymers, which it has a stress concentration of 80 megapascals and 400% strain percentage, so strain factor. So these are the different types of examples in the stress strain graphs, that is the stress strain behavior of different polymers. So the range of ultimate strain of different polymers have been seen in the graphs there. Next one is the comparison of various polymers as matrix materials. So we are taking different types of polymer matrix materials here. So this is the representative properties of some polymer matrix composites, polymer matrix materials. So in the property, we are taking the tensile strength, flexural modulus, density, service temperature, thermal expansion, and water absorption. So we are taking the matrix materials are epoxy, polyamides, PEEK. PEEK means polyether ether ketone, polyamides, polyethermide, polysulfone, polyphenol sulfate, and last one is the phenolics. So first coming to the tensile strength, the highest tensile strength has the polyamides. So polyamides has the highest tensile strength, that is 120 megapascals, and the lowest comes to the epoxy, that is 35 to 85. So epoxy has very less tensile strength, that is 35 to 85. 35 to 85. Next, coming to the flexural modulus, these flexural modulus, it has polyamide has the highest flexural modulus, that is 50 gigapascals. That is very high flexural modulus. It has a flexural modulus of 50 gigapascals. And coming to the lowest, again it is epoxy. So epoxy has 50 to 35 gigapascals only. Next, coming to the density, the density of all the polymers is approximately equal in nature, but these polyamides has the highest density, that is 1.46 grams per centimeter cube, and the least one is polysulfone. So polysulfone has very least density, that is 1.25 grams per centimeter cube. So 1.25 grams per centimeter cube is the very low density for the polysulfone. Next, coming to the service temperature. So the service temperature of polyamides is very high, that is 260 to 425 degrees centigrade. So it has a highest service temperature of 260 to 425 degrees centigrade. But when coming to the lowest, then it is epoxy, which has a very low service temperature, that is 25 to 85 degrees centigrade. So it has a very low continuous service temperature, that is 25 to 85 degrees centigrade. Next, coming to the coefficient of thermal expansion. So in this thermal expansion, polysulfone has the highest thermal expansion, that is 9.4 to 10, but there are 3 to 4 materials. So it has epoxy, that is 8 to 11, and polysulfone 9.4 to 10, and phenolics 4.5 to 11. So upon all these, polysulfide has a constant value of 9.9. So this is the highest, and the lowest is, the lowest coefficient of thermal expansion goes to phenolics, that is 4.5 to 11. It has a very low thermal coefficient of expansion, that is 4.5 to 11. And when it comes to water absorption, the water absorption of the polyamide and polyamide are 0.3. That is, water absorption is somewhat higher than the other matrix materials, but the lowest goes to epoxy. So again, the epoxy is the lowest water absorption, and PEEK also has very low water absorption. So these are the different types of polymer matrix materials compared to the properties. So different representative properties of polymer matrix materials.
సార్
చెప్పమ్మా.
సరే, ఇందులో ప్రాపర్టీస్ మొత్తంలో మాక్సిమం మినిమం ఒకటే పెట్టాలి.
ఏందమ్మా?
సార్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు రౌండ్ అప్ చేశారు కదా, ఒకటి మాక్సిమం ఇంకోటి మినిమం పెట్టారుగా, రిమైనింగ్ దేనికి సార్ మీరు ఉన్నాయి కదా రిమైనింగ్
సో రిమైనింగ్ ఏంటంటే నేను హైయెస్ట్ లోయెస్టే మార్కింగ్ చేశానమ్మా. సో ఇప్పుడు టెన్జైల్ స్ట్రెంత్ కి వచ్చేసరికి పాలియమైడ్స్ కి ఎక్కువ ఉంటది, అంటే ఈ పాలిమర్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ మెటీరియల్స్ లోనే. సో 120 మెగా పాస్కల్స్ ఉంది. సో ఇప్పుడు అదే మ్యాట్రిక్స్ మెటీరియల్స్ లోయెస్ట్ వచ్చేసరికి ఎపాక్సీకి ఉంది 35 to 85 ఉందన్నమాట. సో నేను హైయెస్ట్ లోయెస్ట్ మాత్రమే తీసుకున్నాను. హైయెస్ట్ వచ్చేసి గ్రీన్ కలర్ తో ఇండికేట్ చేశాను, లోయెస్ట్ వచ్చేసి ఆరెంజ్ కలర్ తో ఇండికేట్ చేశాను. సో మిగతా వాటికి కూడా ఉంటాయి కానీ హైయెస్ట్ లోయెస్ట్. మిగతా వాటికంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చూస్తే 92, 95, 105 ఇవన్నీ కూడా 120 కన్నా తక్కువే కదా, కానీ ఎపాక్సీ గ్రూప్ కంటే కూడా ఎక్కువ ఉంది అలా.
ఓకే సార్.
So these are the different polymer matrix materials of representative properties. Next, coming to the limitations of polymer composites. So it has very low maximum working temperature. So the working temperature of the polymers is very low, that is somewhat higher than the room temperature. So around 90 to 120 degrees is the maximum working temperature of polymer matrix composites. Next, it has high coefficient of thermal expansion, that is the dimensional stability. So when it goes to 3-dimensional axis, it has good dimensional stability comparing to the 2-dimensional axis. Next, it has sensitive to radiation and moisture. It is very sensitive in nature when it goes to radiation and moisture. Last one, it goes to the processing temperature are generally higher than those with the thermosetting resins. So these processing temperatures are very high with compared to the thermosets. That is, these thermoplastics have very high processing temperature compared to the thermosettings, because thermoplastics can melt when we raise the temperature, but these thermosetting plastics do not melt due to heating. That is the main reasons for the processing temperature which is higher than the thermosets. So these are the some of the limitations of polymer matrix composites. And coming to the last topic, that is polymer processing, that is polymer manufacturing process. So there are different types of polymer processing or manufacturing process. So first one, we are going to see the forming process for thermosetting matrix composites. So those are the process for thermosetting matrix composites only. So in these we have 5 types of techniques. First one is the hand layup and spray up techniques. So these are hand layup and spray up techniques, which are very easier to manufacture. Next one is the filament winding. So by using the rovings of your fibers, we can do the filament windings. Next one is the pultrusion. So pultrusion is a process of applying load on both sides of the fibers. So applying some pressure on the some force on the both sides of the fibers, we are doing this pultrusion process. Next one, resin transfer molding. So RTM is the process used for the transfer of resin during the molding process.
Sir,
చెప్పమ్మా.
ఫార్మింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి సార్?
ఏంటమ్మా?
ఫార్మింగ్
ప్రాసెస్ అమ్మా, మీకు ప్రొడక్షన్ టెక్నాలజీలో వచ్చింది చూడు, ప్రొడక్షన్ టెక్నాలజీ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఉంది కదా సెకండ్ ఇయర్ లో మీకు.
సార్
ఫార్మింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ అని, ఫార్మింగ్ మెథడ్స్, ఇవి ఫార్మింగ్ మెథడ్స్ అంటే మనం క్యూరింగ్ చేసుకుంటాం, అంటే హీట్ చేసి మళ్ళీ క్యూరింగ్ చేసుకుంటాం, చూసావా?
సార్ ఐడియా లేదు.
సో దానికి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను అన్నమాట. డై తీసుకున్నావు నువ్వు, స్ప్లిట్ డై కానీ లేకపోతే సింగిల్ పీస్ డై తీసుకున్నావు. సింగిల్ పీస్ డైలో కానీ స్ప్లిట్ పీస్ డైలో కానీ నువ్వు ఈ లిక్విడ్ మోల్టన్ మెటల్ పోయాలిగా.
సార్
పోసిన తర్వాత మనకి ఏమవుతుంది, అది సాలిడ్ దాకా అయ్యేటప్పుడు క్యూరింగ్ చేసుకోవాలి మనం. క్యూరింగ్ అంటే కొంచెం ఈ రూమ్ టెంపరేచర్ వదిలేస్తాం దాన్ని. వదిలేసినప్పుడు దాని పాటికి కొంతసేపటికి ఏమైంది, అది ఆరిపోద్ది.
సాలిడ్
ఈ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాసెస్ మొత్తాన్ని కూడా మనకి ఫార్మింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ అంటారమ్మా. సో ఎక్స్టర్నల్ ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ అనేవి దీంట్లో యూజ్ చేయం. న్యాచురల్ గా ఏంటంటే క్యూరింగ్ చేసేదాన్ని మొత్తాన్ని కూడా ఫార్మింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ కిందకు వస్తాయి.
ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ చెప్పండి సార్.
Next, autoclave method. So these are also one of the forming process used for the thermosetting matrix composites. And coming to the thermoplastic matrix composites, first one is the injection molding. You have seen it in the various industries also, small scale industries, the injection molding. Second one is the film stacking. Third one, diaphragm forming. And last one is the thermoplastic tape laying. So these are the different types of thermoplastic matrix composites. So these are all the introduction part in the second unit, but you can see the extension in the next unit. So ఈ ప్రాసెసింగ్ గురించి అమ్మా డీటెయిల్డ్ గా నెక్స్ట్ యూనిట్ లో ఉంటది అనమాట. సో మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ మెథడ్స్ ఆఫ్ ది పాలిమర్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ కాంపోజిట్స్ అని ఉంటాయి. అక్కడ మొత్తం డీటెయిల్డ్ గా ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ మెథడ్ కూడా అక్కడ డీటెయిల్డ్ గా చూసుకోవచ్చు. ఇక్కడ ఓన్లీ స్టార్టింగ్ ఇచ్చాడు అనమాట, ఇంట్రడక్షన్ మాత్రమే ఇచ్చాడు. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ పాలిమర్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ మెథడ్స్ యూజ్డ్ ఇన్ ది thermosetting matrix composites as well as the thermoplastic composites. Later we can see the full brief explanation of these methods, of these manufacturing methods. Thank you.